Hi, welcome everybody to Wine Roots. And today I'm here with Davis Matthew. Second time in the podcast, Davis.
Part two.
You're the first one to be twice here.
I'm gonna be the first one to be 3 times too.
Okay, looking forward for that.
Todos los años.
Every year. I like that. So when you first told me this, I was kind of like, maybe it's not a good idea. I want to have new people. But you really have a good idea of seeing your progress year by year. And also, I want to put this like as an introduction of this podcast because what do you thought about that? Why do you think it was a good idea? I want to know what was your mindset.
Specifically the year by year thing. It's a very selfish thing.
Okay.
I find myself thinking like legacy, long term. Like at the end of my life, I want to be able to look back at something and see how I progressed and changed and lived on. And so I love taking like a lot of photographs, a lot of like documentation of my life. So selfishly, I was like, JC's got this great podcast. Someday he's going to be famous. I want to look back and be like, yeah, I knew JC. And so, yeah, it's a selfish thing kind of, but like, I think it'd be a great way to document my progress and then also to document your progress and be like, yeah, like once we're at the top, like we talked about last year, we're going to be at the top someday.
Yeah.
And so it'd be nice to look back and see where we started from.
Okay, because again, I was like, oh, should I have Davis again? But I read this prize that I have it right here about Heraclitus. He was a philosopher, like a Roman or Greek, and he said like, no man ever stepped in the same river twice, for it is not the same river and he's not the same man.
I love that one.
Yeah,
I've heard that one. That one's a good one.
Yeah, it's a really good one. So after I read the phrase and then you were talking about having a second time of the podcast, I was like, man, that's a freaking great idea. I just have to open my mind and have Davis
5%.
Yeah.
I'll take your commission.
Yeah, you will be you're part of this project. You're part of this project already. So Davis, how's been work after last time you were here in the podcast?
Last time we talked, it was at the beginning of 2023 growing season.
Correct. Yeah.
It was long. That's how there's like 2 words that describe long and botrytis. Those are the 2 words that remind me of 2023 to me.
Because we're talking about the challenges and your bid like activities, and you have a couple of projects last year, right? That were super involved.
Yeah. I got a couple projects just starting. We are gonna finally see the fruition of one of the projects involving like Pierce's disease resistant vines. And I don't know if we talked about it last year, but I
don't think so.
I don't think so either. So we're experimenting with basically like a biological defense system of Pierce's disease using genetically bred vines that are resistant to that disease. And so we are finally going to see the fruit come off of those vines this year, and we're going to really start the beginning of that project.
Do you guys harvest that fruit?
We will this year.
Okay.
This year? Yeah. It's exciting. I think last year we had like a small little lot that we got to make some research wine with. Haven't got to taste them yet, but it's very exciting work. It's the culmination of, I think his name's Andy Walker, but it's basically like his entire life's work, like 20, 30 years of breeding these vines that were originally like American vines that were resistant to the bacterial disease that causes Pierce's disease. And so he bred those American vines back with the beautiful European vines because, European vines make the best grapes, best wine.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, that's what you heard. America can't do it. And so we are finally planting those in commercial vineyards after all his years of experience working on that. And this year we're finally going to get some fruit out of it. So it's very exciting.
And also, you cover like a great area, right?
Huge.
All the way from Dry Creek Valley to Alexander Valley. And different type of terroirs and vineyards and blocks and varieties. And what have you seen that is one of the most challenges for farming in this area of California?
To be honest, it seems pretty easy farming in this area, specifically for the location that we're in the varieties that I farm. It's a lot of Cabernet in very hot climates. And so just thinking of disease pressure relative to, let's say, like growing Chardonnay or like Pinot in the Russian River Valley. Growing Cabernet in Alexander Valley seems trivial. You don't really get too many fungal disease rots like in the actual grapes, like botrytis or sour rot or anything like that. They love the heat. It seems kind of easy, but I guess the challenges that we face, or that I face in my particular line of farming, is the scale of things and the lack of variety, actually. So we're farming, some places are several hundred acres of one variety, which is nice for maybe understanding the variety. You can understand a lot better if you're only farming a couple of things, but at the scale that we do, if you have 100 acres or several hundred acres of a vine all popping at the same time and all needing to be harvested at the same time, that presents a huge challenge. So from that standpoint, it would be nice maybe to have a little bit more mix of the varieties on our particular ranches that we farm. That's definitely a challenge, just that the timing of everything.
And also the uniformity of the, for example, we have a huge Cabernet block. Even though it's the same block and same column, same variety, different parts of the work of the block show different characteristics, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so if you're on the top of a hill, right, all the water when it rains is going to start at the top of the hill and roll down, and so maybe the top of the hill is a lot more stress from water earlier on compared to the bottom, and so you'll have big variations in yield, plant responses, all types of things.
Yeah, I think the size is pretty like a game changer in what you're trying to do.
For sure.
And also, we have this ranch that is close to a creek, no? And I remember you were talking to me about changing the rootstock of one type of a block because that rootstock is way more resistant to nematodes, right? Yeah. So what is that about?
Yeah. So we another challenge of farming in our particular area, when you're up against creeks, is that in California, I believe, and I'm not totally versed on all the laws and regulations, but I believe it's very challenging to alter riparian areas or alter like areas around creeks or streams, basically, like to go in and remove plant vegetation or go in to even remove debris. I think it's pretty highly regulated around here to preserve wetlands and whatnot. And so we have vineyards that butt up against creeks. And these creeks, as you know, these past couple of years has been very heavy rainfall in California.
Yes.
And so these creeks have been bringing a lot of debris, a lot of dead trees, and a lot of dead plant matter, and they're starting to build up. And since we can't go in and clear it out, they're starting to overflow into our vineyards, kind of creating like little creeks throughout the vineyards, which is not great. And so it was a two-pronged issue. The vines were being waterlogged. They're being consistently flooded out, basically. I have some pictures that I can show you, but the vines are basically like, if this is the total vine, half of it's underwater.
And it stays like that for weeks.
Yeah, weeks, potentially like months if it's really bad. But what's also bad about that is it's right up against an actual river. And so with all that water movement and all that sandy soil, it's moving a lot of nematodes into the area, into the block. And the block wasn't necessarily designed to have nematode-resistant rootstocks. Because we weren't anticipating maybe that these vineyards would be flooded as much or as regularly as they are. During the planting of these vineyards, it was during the drought seasons, very dry years, so we weren't seeing much water movement into the vineyard at all. And so
till the winter.
Right, exactly. And so now that we are back into more a pattern of more wet years back to back, we're seeing a lot more water movement and a lot more nematode challenges and then waterlogging challenges. And so through all of our investigation, we came to find out the rootstock didn't match what the current site needs are. And so we actually went and changed the rootstock in all the vines that have been dying. Can't take out the whole block, but things that are already dead, we can fix.
That's cool that you're kind of like the doctor, you know? Figured out this stuff for the vines.
That's exactly how I describe my job to anyone outside of the industry. I try and break it down to I think of myself as a doctor for the farmers. I'm not the person raising the children, so to speak, raising the grapes, but when the farmer has a problem with their child, the grapes, they bring it to the doctor to diagnose what's wrong and prescribe a solution. And so that's what I do as a viticulturist. I go out, see what's wrong, and then through my experience and, of course, working through my team, I'm really not the person making the decisions. I like to pretend I am, but
you're part of the decision.
I'm part of the decisions, right? So we'll see what's wrong, and then we'll do our best to prescribe a solution.
And then something that happened last year too was, if I can remember right, what did you do for Christmas?
Oh, yeah. I went to your second, third, first favorite country, France.
Third favorite country.
Where would you put it up?
Why are you saying this?
I don't know, man. You're a big France guy nowadays, especially with all your classes and everything.
Yes.
Where does it rank in your country list?
I would say I don't have a favorite country.
All right, Mexico, America, top 2, obviously. You put Spain or France higher?
Híjole. I put whole Europe.
That's cheating. That's no fun.
I put America, Europe.
Mexico? No, Mexico?
America is part of the continent,
Oh, okay. Oh, you do continents.
Yeah, as a whole continent. Yeah.
Don't want to offend any countries.
Yeah, I don't want to offend any countries.
Yeah. Shout out the viewers in all of Europe, I guess.
Shout out to friends. You guys are on my heart. All the world are on my heart. So you went there, right?
Yeah, I went to Europe for the first time ever with my novia.
Nice.
See, not esposa.
What's novia in Spanish?
I'm glad you asked. Novia is girlfriend.
Nice.
And according to someone we know, I need to get 2 more novias.
No. No. Please don't do that.
No?
Be respectful.
Of course. I know. Tiffany wasn't a fan when I told her about that.
No, it's funny because people will say that, like, for sure, there's going to be like, hey, have 3 girlfriends, 4 girlfriends, and now when you get married, only 1.
I know, I'm already down to 1.
Hey, you do you.
I'm ahead of the game.
You know? You do you.
I know, Tiffany wouldn't like that. We're sticking to 1.
No.
Yeah, so Tiffany and I went to Europe for the first time ever for both of us. We started in France, in Strasbourg. It was like the capital of Christmas markets and everything. Okay. It's super gorgeous. That's truly like what I expected Europe to be. Is like old, close together, like village-style buildings. Great food, great Christmas markets. Then from there, we took a train to Germany.
Okay.
And I this must be me just being naive, but I expected like a lot of fanfare, a lot of celebration when we crossed from France to Germany. There was nothing.
Nothing in Germany?
No, I thought someone was at least gonna check my papers and be like, "Congrats, you're in Germany!" Like a big celebration.
Oh, okay.
But
to cross the border.
Yeah, because I've seen like if you like crossing the states, at the very least you get a sign, right? Yeah. Like "Welcome to North Dakota" or something. There was nothing. I was so sad. I was like,
"You need to go to Mexico and then coming back to see all the press."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I was expecting something like that, and it was just nothing.
Is there like any border from Canada, or is it kind of like the same?
Yeah, it's I went to Canada with my friends in senior year of high school, and I remember on our way back from Canada, we were crossing over into America, and my friends were like, "Put on the American what's not theme song? What's that called? Like national anthem? Put on the American national anthem while we're talking to the border guard, so they'll let us through." So
you guys did that? Yeah. Of course you did that.
We're like sitting in line with like all these other cars that are windows down playing. Like, God bless America. Yeah. We got through. Okay. So, yeah. Nice. There's a good border up there.
And then you went for Christmas with Tiffany, you traveled from France to Germany, and then you fly to
Austria.
So it was like a full whole experience.
Yeah, it was like 16 days. My thinking was, it's not that close. We don't live in New York, so we can't go visit for the weekend like some people. But I was thinking I'm not going to go there very often, so while I'm there, try and get as much out of it as I can. So we did a couple of different countries. Austria, I think, as a whole, was my favorite country. We went to Vienna, which was so cool. Yeah. It was basically like all these buildings to me reminded me of like imperialism, basically, or like super super strong, like powerful families and whatnot. Kind of like what Star Wars would have been based off of, but like if it was like back in the old days. Basically, it felt like the most royal city that I've ever been to before. Vienna, because I had like all these statues on each of the corners, like covered in gold, and like spear tips that were covered in gold, and all these fancy statues. And then from Vienna, we went to Salzburg in Vienna, which was actually in the Alps. And they had a really big castle. Wow. And I was like, that's what I imagine when I think of Europe, is like castle in the Alps. So I was like, it's everything I could ask for.
Lots of history.
Yeah,
lots of culture.
Yeah.
Also, do you try any wines there?
Yeah, we did. So I think specifically in France, we were at all the Christmas markets in Strasbourg. I think we're in the, you'd probably know this better, Alsace region. How do you say
Alsace?
Alsace?
Alsace? No,
No, say something fancy.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was like, I think it's like kind of similar to maybe like the Russian River Valley, because there's like a lot of like Rieslings and
Okay. In France?
And I actually tried quite a few noble rot wines, like when they leave it to get botrytis basically and get super concentrated. It was very sweet.
Do you like it?
It was an interesting experience. It was very sweet for me. Yeah, I think if I would have tried that earlier on in my wine experiences, I would have enjoyed it more. But kind of leaning away. Yeah. Like I don't really like sugary stuff. I like a lot of fruit. I don't really like any like sodas or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mango, right? For sure.
Yeah, mango is my mango and pineapple. Same thing.
Yeah, you just said so. And then when you came back to the States, what was like the biggest like contrast that you see, or from Europe to the United States? Was it different? Do you learn a lot?
Yeah.
What are your takeaways from that trip?
The two big ones that come to my mind right now. The first one was water.
Water, okay.
Yeah, so I'm so used to in America, you go to a restaurant, you just get water. You don't have to ask for it, they bring it to you. And what do they have in the water? Ice. Yeah.
Here.
No ice in Europe. You had to ask for it. And then you had to ask for water, period. So I kept asking for water, and they kept bringing me like San Pellegrino or like this fancy like bubbly water. We were charged like €4, and we didn't know that every time you got a refill, they charged you again.
Yes.
So we were just down in water over there. And then same thing in the airports. Like, have you ever been to like an airport in America or Mexico? I'm sure the same thing.
Yeah,
like anywhere. Yeah, water fountains you can get water from for free. Nothing in Europe. I think like in like 4 different airports we went to, I found one water fountain. What are they doing over there? They're drinking wine.
They're drinking wine. That's what they're doing there.
Exactly. But you had to pay for water everywhere, and I hated it because I love drinking water. Like we all should. But not nearly enough water over there. And then the second biggest thing that I really felt once I got back was how big America is. Everything's big. Everything's spread apart, but also like how close people stand to each other, or how big like the roads are. Like here, like I love driving here because I don't feel like I'm gonna hit every single thing. Being in a car over there on those tiny little streets is terrifying. And then I remember specifically in Vienna, I was like sitting on the toilet in the bathroom. I could touch the wall here. 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 And that was like not uncommon in all the bathrooms. And then I got home, and like I by no means like in a big house, but I felt like I could like run around and play a game of football in my bathroom back here.
Makes sense.
So I'm used to the big spaces in America.
Yeah. And then now that you touched that that thing that you went home and you have a big home, what happened in the winter? what happened? Because I mean, right now I can see you talking so professional because you're now used to the camera. You're already doing national TV, baby. What's all that about?
So if you go on to the ABC YouTube channel for February, middle of February, you go through the live stream, you can find me on the National News ABC stream.
Okay.
The reason is, one day I was just at home playing some video games on my day off. So excited to finally have a day off after only being back from work for 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden, a freaking earthquake hit my house. My specific house got an earthquake, but from above my house. It didn't hit.
You were playing, and then
all of a sudden the entire house was shaking. The window shattered right beside me. Like, terrifying. Truly thought an earthquake had hit just my house. I look out the window. Freaking half of a tree is like hanging off of my roof. Terrified. I was like, oh shit, a tree just hit my house. I had told my friends I was playing Counter-Strike. I was like, guys, I think I gotta go. A tree just hit my house. But at the time, we've had like a couple branches hit our house before, and I just chalked it up to like aliens or something. I was like, I'm not gonna. It's whatever. People are invading. It's no big deal. I kept sleeping. This one was much bigger, but I could still see it from my window on top of my roof. I was like, oh, we're fine. I walk out into the living room. The tree was in my living room, fully sticking through the wall. It was inside my bedroom. It looked like, I don't know if you've ever been to a rainforest cafe, But
Yeah, that happens.
my bedroom looked like a rainforest cafe because Tiffany themed our room to have like plants and like vines and everything. So it looked like it belonged.
Right in the middle.
It was crazy. So we had to call. I called the fire department, and then that brought the news team. And I went from like I was so hopped up on adrenaline. I was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to move out of my house. I almost died. And then the camera people came, and I was like, yeah, I think I could talk to you guys for a second. And so I described my experience to probably the chagrin of myself. I shouldn't have showed anyone because now I'm starting to see some memes. If you ever find the picture out there, there's a couple moments of me acting a little silly.
How big was the tree?
It was like this big.
Man, you're famous, man.
I know.
That's something that is on your legacy.
To be honest, I got in my head the couple days after, I fully expected to go into work and everyone I work with to be like, Davis, I saw you on TV. I can't believe you're on TV. For some reason, I thought everyone was going to be watching like the ABC News at like 8 in the morning on a Tuesday. I was like, oh no, what did I just do?
I mean, Riley's dad saw you, no?
Yeah.
Our Michigan.
Yeah, our coworkers whose dad lives in Michigan texted him. He's like, hey, like, how are the storms in Santa Rosa? I just heard that a tree went through someone's house. He's like, are you serious? Because 5 minutes before I had told Riley about this, he's like, holy cow, my dad just found you in Michigan. And then Sydney's mom actually did the same thing a couple weeks later.
So people from Michigan and Illinois are looking what's happening in California.
Exactly. So I was convinced that people were going to find it and be like, I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but I thought everyone was going to be talking about it.
No, it was hilarious, man. It was hilarious. When you showed me that, I was like, no way that happened to you.
Yeah.
But that is sad. It's not a good news, but then you found a really nice place now, right?
Yeah.
And you're doing gardening now. Yeah, how is that house?
Yeah, so just in general, Tiffany and I, we talk about this a lot, but we try and live our life the best we can with the understanding that for the most part, we feel like things happen for a reason, or at the very least, you can always, even if it doesn't happen for a reason, looking back, you can always be like, if this didn't happen, then I wouldn't be at this point in my life.
Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, it was horrible. I almost died. Legit, if it fell like a couple feet differently, I would have been out of here. Yeah. But we tried to turn it into the best we could. The craziest detail I didn't include, the day that the tree fell was one day before we re-signed a 2-year lease.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
It was, I mean, saying that it's meant to be is kind of like bad, but it happens in a sweet time and moment where you can make a decision where you're going to live.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for a couple of days, we ended up living in the Flamingo Hotel. Not the best establishment to be living in long term.
Like a rock
star. Something like a rock star. Yeah. But yeah, like you said, we ended up finding a standalone house, quite a bit more money, but we get to have like our own planter boxes. We got a backyard. We have more space. So it really worked out for the best. It would have been nice to have maybe a little bit more time to process like what happened and to maybe look at all of our options. But when there's a roof or when there's water coming through your roof while you're sleeping, it's any house is better than the one you're in currently.
Yeah, I like that. That's a really smart comment.
Yeah, dude. The craziest part is that eventually the building inspector came and verified that the house was safe to live in because they put a tarp over it. And so my landlord is like, all right, you can move back in, you just can't go in your bedroom. But I'm pretty sure he was expecting us to pay full rent to use only part of our house and live in the kitchen. I was like,
We drove him, well, that's not gonna happen.
Nope. And he originally was like, wow, I can't believe like you're leaving. Because I told him, I was like, I don't think this is gonna change very fast. He's like, oh, this is gonna be quick. We drove by, no joke, like this weekend, there's still a tarp on the roof. Yeah, it's been several months. So in the end, it worked out really well for us.
No, but I hope I've been to your new house and it feels like home, man. It really feels nice to be there, and I hope you have a lot of your family, your friends are coming, Tiffany's family. So I hope you can have amazing moments in that house. join in with a glass of wine, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Open a lots of bottles of wine in that house.
We got a lot of wine to work through. We'll have to have you over. Our wine supply only ever goes up. We don't really drink too much. So.
Okay, but when there's people, you might open a bottle.
Oh yeah, when people come over, it was like a couple days ago, just like a random day, nothing special, and I was like, hey, just drink any of our wine, and they went immediately to the best bottle, and was like, they're like, can we open this? I was like, yeah, please. I was like, you're gonna appreciate it way more than I could.
Exactly.
I think it was like an Annapolis J Pinot or something.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was our daily drinking wine.
Yeah.
For
Is
them.
that a Pinot Noir? No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was like the fancy one of the J series, basically.
And that's the one that you get from Christmas, from the holiday days?
Yeah. It was, I think it was actually Tiffany's, but she doesn't drink even more so than I do. So
okay,
we got wine. We'll have to have you over. Is what I'm trying to
please.
say. Come drink all of our wine, please.
No, all of them, but for sure.
A
couple glasses.
We'll spread it out.
Yeah, a couple glasses I would do it for sure. And then Davis. So you've been in this role for 2.5 years now, right? Almost 3 years.
Yeah.
So, what are you looking forward into viticulture career? What is one of the things you want to do with the future? I know you're getting your PCA pretty soon.
Starting the process of studying it. Yeah, I got my exams in June. Basically been approved to take it since 2022, and I naively thought someone was be like, "Hey, Davis, go take this." In the real world, you have to figure things out.
You know
yourself.
who is that someone? It's you.
I know. I hate it when it's me. I hate it when it's me. So I'm finally putting it together. It's like, oh, if like at this point in our life, like if you want something, you got to go take it, right? Yeah. So I signed up to take it, I think in June, not really fully understanding the full scope of the test. I was like, but if I don't have a date, I'm never going to start studying.
Yeah.
So I signed up for it, and then I looked at the contents of the test. I was like, maybe I should have pushed that back a couple more months. It's quite a bit.
It's a lot.
It's quite a bit of information that I didn't know, and information I'm not necessarily excited to learn, specifically like laws and regulations, which is very important, but it's just not something that is super interesting to me. So it's going to be a sort of a power through type of situation.
But you're right in that track, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm way ahead of where I could be at this point in my life.
Nice.
So I'm trying to keep that trajectory. Yeah.
Because I mean, you're pretty young. You're like 32.
I'll take 32.
No, it's gonna be your birthday pretty soon. But how old are you like today?
Today, I am like 2 weeks removed from being 24. So I'm 23 right now.
Yeah, 23.
23.
Yeah.
So I'm young, but I'm not young.
No, I mean, in this, I always like to think in my career, like I see my dad, us, my grandpa, and people that have a long careers, like 30, 40 years of career.
Yeah.
And for me, we're just like babies.
Yeah.
We're hampers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the future is bright, and I'm just gonna go for it. So,
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Yeah, I think about that too. Like our coworker who just retired.
Yeah.
I think about those kind of things. Like he started working before I was ever even a thought to my parents.
Yes.
And he's
excited.
that.
Yes.
I always talk about this. Like I think it's a hard thing for people our age, first out of college or whatever, to adjust. I think to the pace of life because we're so used to. At least for me, I've been so used to every 4 years something radically new happens. Right. Basically since like elementary school. So you have elementary school for like 5 or 6 years, but then you go to middle school. Crazy change, right?
Yeah.
In 3 years you go to high school. In 4 years you go to college. After 4 years, so in that from 0 to basically 21 years of age, every year means a lot. You're learning like a lot of new things. Things come to you relatively quickly. And so when I graduated, I was still kind of in that mindset. I was like, all right, in a couple of years, I'm going to be at the top of wherever. Come to find out, things move a lot slower once you're out in the real world. Things slow down a little bit. And so trying to get into that mindset of like, I may have been doing this for 4 years, but that means I'm still at the very beginning of it. It's a hard concept to wrap my head around.
But it's like also like compound interest.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
It's boring, no?
Yeah, it's boring at the beginning, but it'll be worth it at the end.
For sure. And now, David, now we're talking this. Also, one of the reasons that I decided to record this second episode with you is because I have big news for you.
You got news?
Yeah. I was surprised actually. Yeah.
¿Qué pasa?
So I'm gonna go to out of the country. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like vacation or like?
So I'm gonna put it more clear. So next month is gonna be my last month in Gala.
No.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Because I'm gonna go to do a master's in France.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so awesome, man.
Yeah. Viticulture and enology.
Dude,
That's why
really?
I'm learning French.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
This is in French.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way he's learning French just for the fun of it. That really?
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the program like? What is it?
It's a master program. It's 2 years. It's called Vinifera.
¿Dónde?
Master in Montpellier, France.
I don't know why I asked that. I don't know where.
It's like South Riviera of France.
Southeast?
Yeah, it's just close to Barcelona, basically.
Oh, south. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like in the Riviera. It's Mediterranean. It's a nice city. I've never been there, but I've seen some picture. I see pretty clash. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
This is so exciting.
This is super serious.
When did you find out?
So I didn't know this. So I applied for this in late November last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I was planning. Already had it. But
You're
I
always
mean,
a planner.
yeah. But I also wanted to be patient to see what the career gonna take me. And I told my family in December, and they support me. That if you want to do it, just go. Like, why not?
Right.
So I applied. Also, I was looking to Fresno State here in California because I wanted to get my master's for sure. I moving to Fresno, staying here, going to Europe. So I put that on the balance.
It's kind of an easy balance. Yeah.
So I applied only for the one in Europe, and then I got the letter like on February, like pre-accepted letter. But I mean, I'm happy where I am now. As you say, like I see all the progress that I've done in 2 years, and I know if I stay around, probably there's gonna be more opportunities. So I'm gonna hold on to make a decision, and then we have the PAs, and also that give me more like confidence to be able to take this step forward.
Right.
And then after PAs, I've been like talking with my family, with my friends, and it's happening.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you. This is for sure the best opportunity I think for you at the time, especially going to France. Like I know you always loved France.
Yeah, I mean,
did your love for France start because of this specifically? I've known you since for a while to really enjoy France.
So I admire France.
Uh-huh.
Mexico has a lot of French culture and influence, and in the wine world, like most of the French varieties are all over the world. You have great also French vineyards that have invested in all over the world too. So of course, I feel like if I want to become somebody with more knowledge, I have to learn from the masters, and being a culture that also share that with the whole world, I think is gonna put me in a sweet spot to understand better like the language of it.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Is it all in French?
No, actually it's in English.
Oh.
actually you can go. You don't need to learn French, but the thing is I'm gonna be living there. So I was thinking I should try. Here's the thing. I don't want to travel or to go to another culture and be just like a tourist.
Yeah, no.
Just like, oh yeah, I'm a tourist, so I'm gonna take pictures. I want to be involved. I want to freaking know everything, have the daily life, start thinking in the language, start like be part of that. So that's why I'm learning French.
Dude, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Props on you for holding this together. I'd be screaming this news. I'm so excited for you.
You're the first one in the office that knows.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll keep it tight.
Yeah. No, please. Please. I think I'm gonna talk. Well, when the podcast is ready, they're already gonna know.
Okay.
But I think I'm gonna talk on Tuesday or Wednesday next week because I only have a month.
When do you fly out?
I fly out to Spain in July 21st. But I'm leaving California first week of July.
Are you still going to Spain with your brother then?
Yeah. So I'm going July 21st to see some friends in Spain, and then we're gonna do the Camino de Santiago in August, and then the master program starts in September.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Do you know like where you're living and everything? Like, have you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're on top of it.
Yeah. I'm a planner, dude.
You are a planner.
Here's the thing, like you just said it, like if you want things happen, you gotta make it happen.
Yeah.
So
sure.
Since November, I was okay. What do I need to get there? So of course, I wasn't accepted, and I started just learning French because I knew it's gonna happen. And then also, what else do I need? Okay, I need to do all like paperwork, passport, like transcripts, certificates, all like admission process, So I was like, okay, every week I'm gonna do a little bit. So when it's time, I have everything ready. So yeah.
That's so awesome. This is gonna be sweet. Do you know like, is it a specific type of like is it just like generic viticulture and enology?
Viticulture and enology, yeah. Like the first year is just general, and then it's like a program. You should check it out. Honestly, I feel.
Yeah, let me take a picture.
Yeah, for people in the industry, I think that program like really gives you like a lot of exposure of different cultures and different like it's this one vinifera, and then this is the one in France. Yeah, I can send you the link and everything.
Yeah, please do.
So it's first years in France, and then you can choose from Spain, Portugal, Italy, and Germany to do the second year. So it's like a consortium. So yeah, it's amazing.
So you're doing France the first year and then somewhere else the second?
Germany.
Oh, dude, that's so exciting. Yeah. Well, can I come visit you?
Of course, of course, and drink wine, and I show you around. Yeah.
This better not disrupt our one-day trip to Michoacan.
No, that's not. Yeah, that's not in the books for sure. We gotta plan that probably in a year, because I don't think I'm coming like for Christmas. I think I'm gonna stay there because she's kind of far,
When you graduate, we can celebrate.
For real. Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing, like the industry's spread out all over the world,
right?
So I don't want to close the door to come back to California, to be back in the same company, or either to go back to Mexico and start my own thing. Man, I'm down for adventure. Like if I have to go to freaking Chile to live for 2 years, or Argentina, or South Africa, Australia, I'm down. I'm just gonna follow it because I like it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. Yeah, I think you're the perfect person for this. It's been so clear that the level of passion that you have and the desire to learn and grow within this industry is respectfully, I don't think you've been utilizing your full potential here. Yeah. I'm very excited to see where this can go for you.
Yeah, because you know what happened? I realized that when this is gonna be so cliche, but the more I know, it's like, I want to know more, and there's more stuff, and I thought I knew this, so there's another perspective to solve this problem. Oh wow! So yeah.
Right. What do you think? Maybe like 20 years down the line, you'll look at particularly this job, this role that you're in right now. What do you think you could take away from it?
Oof, a lot of stuff, like formation, like discipline, also to treat people, to listen to them, to understand. Because I mean, yeah, you can have like the best bottle of wine, you can have the best marketing team, you can be making a lot of money, but if the people you're working with, they're not happy with you, man, it's not true. Like for me, that's what's the point if you have workers that I don't feeling that like same values than you, or you're not sharing your values, you don't preach what you don't do what you preach. So for me, it's that like from bottom line to top line to be the same, like values and communication. Like no matter if you're gonna be this is like my point, no matter if you're like the president of a country, for me, I'm gonna treat you the same way I treat you like a farm worker.
Yeah.
And we're in the same company, same goals. We are a team. So man, you are president, so you have more responsibility. You're a farm worker, you also have more responsibility. You guys good at what you're doing, but for me, the tree is like the same.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care, dude. I think that's the most takeaway.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you better when you're running your business with your master someday, don't forget about me.
No.
right?
Here's the thing that
You'll need a viticulturist. I don't know what side you're
that's
gonna go.
another thing that I love. And I was talking with Elias, and I'm talking with Renee, and I'm talking with a lot of the people that have with the podcast. Is like it's like this thing that help me to help you. Like if we're all in this together. Like if you go up, I know you're gonna be in a place and you're gonna talk with some friends, and my name is gonna come up if I'm doing the things right.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going up and viticulturist, where I work, and if you're doing the things right, we're gonna get there.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, as you say, 2 years, we're working right here, we're learning from these areas, but in 5 years, now you're gonna have a friend in freaking France. And I don't know, probably I met somebody that goes to Australia and I talk to him about you, and everything may happen.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, you never know what's gonna happen until the tree falls through your house, right?
How big it was.
How big's my circle of friends? The whole world.
No, exactly. The world's a tissue. Yeah. So yeah.
This is super. I'm very excited. I'm very proud of you. You for sure deserve this and earn this.
Yeah.
Everything I've ever seen from you is exemplary work, exemplary person. So you should be very proud of yourself.
Yeah, that's why I wanted, when you say about the podcast, I was like, I already had it. I want to have new people. But then I was, David should be the great guy to share this news with him. Bro, we work. I'm seeing you more than my brother.
Yeah.
Every day.
I see. Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, I've been very honored to grow closer with you and become more of a friend with you this past year.
Yeah, and we gotta keep doing the podcast once a year.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. We'll do it when I come visit, or we can do it on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. But once a year, Davis.
Yeah, of course. I'm very excited. Do you one more question for you? What do you think? Okay. California and all. What are you gonna miss the most about it?
About California?
Yeah.
Honestly, the people.
Yeah.
Because I always say that away from home is the closest feeling of home here in California. Like the food, the culture, the weather, the people. We're just look at this.
It's hard to beat.
Yeah, like it's amazing.
I bet Montpelier looks pretty too.
Yeah, yes. The whole world is pretty, but it's part of me now. It's like I came here not knowing a lot of people. I came here like with no friends, with no job, and now I'm living with a family. So, California is part of me now. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, knowing you're not gonna have any issues making friends anywhere you go. You have friends all over the country, all over the world. You'll be fine.
Yeah. No, I know. I know. I don't worry about that, but for sure I'm gonna miss California. For sure I'm gonna miss the big highways. For sure I'm gonna miss the hamburgers.
The water fountains. Look for the water fountains in the airport. You're not gonna find them.
For sure I'm gonna miss the water with ice.
You know what we need to do before you leave? One more Russian River float.
No, for real.
We got to fit that in.
That's on the calendar already.
I'll stop complaining about the water being cold. I'll go no matter what.
Okay, and then also, if you want like Spanish lessons, you can call me and we can FaceTime.
I was about to say, I really need to practice my Spanish a little bit more before you leave.
Take advantage of it.
I see why you hooked me up with Raul. Now, yeah. You're thinking you're playing.
I'm doing it like...
Dance for me, puppet.
These are little things. Yeah. So Davis, thank you so much for being the podcast.
I appreciate you. I'm very, very excited about this.
En español, ¿no? Adios.
Adios. Hey, when JC's big and famous, remember, I was the first one to do 2. That means something.
Peace out, guys.